You're thinking about a career as an import-export manager in live animals.
That's a seriously intriguing field.
It's a mix of international regulations, animal welfare, and business logistics.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's career guide to unearth the most essential insights for you.
Let's get specific.
Right.
Did you know these professionals often travel, work with exotic species, and even contribute to conservation efforts?
It's not your average desk job, that's for sure.
It's a niche world with a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
You're essentially orchestrating a complex operation involving regulations, logistics, ethics, and of course, animal welfare. The guide highlights the importance of a high degree of attention to detail.
No room for slip-ups when live animals are involved.
No room for error.
Imagine a shipment of endangered parrots held up in customs because of an inaccurate sites permit.
That delay could compromise the health of the birds, violate international agreements, and even result in hefty fines for the company.
This high-stakes game.
So, what kind of day-to-day work environment are we talking about here?
Think a blend of offices, bustling warehouses, and sometimes even open fields.
Travel is often part of the deal, both domestically and internationally.
You might be on a flight to oversee a new facility, or inspecting a shipment in a far-off port.
The guide also mentions potential hazards like noise and dust. Definitely not a typical office setting.
That's right.
You need to be adaptable and comfortable in various environments.
One day you might be working in a climate-controlled facility, and the next you're on a ship in the middle of the ocean.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about the physical environment, it's also the fast-paced, high-pressure nature of the work.
Precisely.
Deadlines are tight, regulations can be complex, and unexpected challenges are always lurking. It sounds like you need a unique combination of grit, grace, and a whole lot of caffeine to thrive in this role.
You've got it. And a strong sense of responsibility, of course.
After all, you're dealing with live animals.
Their welfare is paramount.
The guide definitely emphasizes that. Speaking of which, let's dive into the pros and cons. It mentions high earning potential, travel opportunities, and working with animals as major perks.
Sounds pretty amazing.
But what about the downsides? What are we signing up for here?
Well, as we've touched upon, it's high-stakes work.
Um,
Long hours are common, regulatory hurdles are a constant, and there's potential for ethical dilemmas.
the guide mentions ethical concerns.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure.
What kind of situations might an import-export manager face?
Imagine this. You're coordinating the transport of a group of primates for a conservation breeding program.
Okay.
Everything's set, but at the last minute, there's a weather delay that could impact their well-being during transit.
Oh, wow.
Do you proceed as planned, knowing there are risks involved, or do you delay the shipment, potentially jeopardizing the entire conservation project? These are the sorts of judgment calls you might face.
Those are some tough decisions. It sounds like you need a strong ethical compass and the ability to think critically under pressure. You have to weigh the needs of the animals against logistical constraints, legal requirements, and sometimes even financial considerations.
Right.
It's a balancing act that requires a deep understanding of animal welfare, international regulations, and ethical best practices.
For sure.
So how does one even begin to prepare for a career like this?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What kind of education and skills are essential?
Solid foundation in international trade, logistics, and animal science is key.
Okay.
But, as we've discussed, soft skills are equally important.
Right.
We're talking about communication, negotiation, and problem solving under duress. You'll be interacting with a diverse group of people, veterinarians, customs officials, freight forwarders, and everyone in between.
The guide also highlights some specific certifications that can give you a competitive edge.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us more about those?
Certifications like the Certified International Trade Professional, CITP, or the Certified Supply Chain Professional, CSCP, can be incredibly valuable. They demonstrate your commitment to professional development and a deep understanding of this specialized field.
So think of them as a stamp of approval, signaling to potential employers that you have the knowledge and skills to navigate the intricacies of global trade.
Exactly.
Speaking of career progression, the guide outlines various stages,
Right.
starting with import-export coordinator and eventually reaching senior import-export manager.
Yeah.
What does that upward trajectory look like?
It's a journey. You might start by handling the nitty-gritty, preparing documentation, coordinating shipments, ensuring compliance with regulation.
Okay.
As you gain experience, you could move into leadership roles, managing teams, developing strategies, and even influencing international trade policies.
Okay, this senior manager profile in the guide blew my mind. They're
Really?
not just moving animals, they're influencing international trade policies. That's next level stuff.
It highlights the potential career trajectory in this field.
Yeah.
You could go from coordinating shipments to shaping global trade practices.
Wow.
It's a path that requires dedication, continuous learning, and a passion for both the business and the animals you're working with.
Speaking of dedication and passion, let's talk about landing that dream job.
Okay.
The guide provides some sample interview questions.
Right.
One in particular stood out to me.
Yeah.
Can you discuss a time when you had to make a difficult decision related to live animal import-export?
That's a classic for a reason.
It's designed to assess your ethical compass,
Yeah.
your ability to balance animal welfare with business demands, and how you handle pressure.
Absolutely.
They want to see if you can think critically, problem solve effectively, and make tough calls while upholding ethical standards.
It's not a field for empty promises.
So it's not enough to just talk the talk.
You need to back up your words with experience and a genuine passion for animal welfare.
They want to see if you can walk the walk, especially when it comes to making those difficult decisions.
It's about demonstrating that you're not just here for the paycheck, but for the well-being of the animals entrusted to your care.
This deep dive is really opening my eyes to the complexities and nuances of this field.
It's a fascinating blend of logistics, regulations, ethics, and passion.
And as we delve deeper into this career guide,
Yeah.
you'll gain an even greater appreciation for the crucial role these professionals play in the global trade of live animals. This RoleCatcher guide has been incredibly insightful.
It paints a vivid picture of the challenges and rewards of this career path.
It certainly does.
And it highlights something crucial. The demand for professionals who can navigate the complexities of live animal trade is only going to grow.
That makes sense, especially with globalization and increased awareness of animal welfare.
This isn't just a career. It's a field that sits at the intersection of ethics, logistics, and global trade.
Precisely.
It's about understanding the interconnectedness of the world and ensuring the responsible movement of living creatures across borders.
This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
It's clear that import-export managers in live animals play a vital role in a rapidly changing world. And as we conclude our exploration of this fascinating field, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
This career is not just about moving animals from point A to point B.
Right.
It's about shaping the future of an industry, advocating for animal welfare, and contributing to a more sustainable and interconnected world.
That's a powerful way to put it.
So, for anyone listening who's feeling inspired by this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you'd want them to remember?
Knowledge is power.
The more you understand about the intricacies of international trade, animal welfare, and the ethical considerations involved, the better equipped you'll be to make a real difference in this field.
Couldn't agree more.
A huge thank you to our expert for taking us on this incredible journey through the world of import-export managers in live animals.
It was my pleasure. And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and given you a glimpse into this dynamic and rewarding career.
Until next time.